All right, the Reds. Breaking transfer news this evening. Liverpool looks set to complete the signing of Ryan Gravenberch from Bayern Munich. As you can see from Fabrizio Romano, a 40 million plus 5 million in supposed add-ons. And he's very close to agreeing a 5-year deal. He will fly to Liverpool this evening. So we might get a late night announcement. Probably anticipated to be an early morning job in terms of Liverpool. But chat, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. I'm excited for this lad to come into the football club. I think he's going to be absolutely stellar for Liverpool. And I was speaking to the lads from the 1892 Reds TV as well, Luke, Ricky, and obviously Nigel as well. This notion of when players have gone to football clubs and not really set that team or that league alight straight away. I think it was extremely difficult for a player of his age, a player of his ability as well, to very much get past a vastly experienced Joshua Kimmich and obviously a Leon Goretzka in that Bayern Munich side. And when you're chopping and changing managers as well, certainly the manager that brought you into the football club, it's extremely difficult for any player for that matter when the managers do get changed and you're wanting to try and get into the first team anyway. But 17 of you in here, Reds. If you are new around here, make sure you do hit that subscribe button down below. Smash that like button as well. Let's try and get at least 100 likes on tonight's episode. If we can do that, be very much appreciated. But as I say, chat, use the bloody life of this channel. Use all in the comments as well. Get your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll try and read out as many as I possibly can. If I can't, I really do apologise, but that's a good show. That's a good sign that we've had a good show. If there's that many comments. But big up there, Lavanya, signing in the house. Happy days, mate. It's been a very long time since, obviously, since we signed Dominic Szoboszlai. Seems a very long time ago, but Liverpool looking like our rebuild, a young rebuild is on its way anyway. Of course, and straight away, let's get the cat out of the bag, really, in terms of, obviously, number 6. We know, every Liverpool fan knows we need a number 6, but it will be interesting, as we'll speak about tonight, in terms of, do you reckon it might be a potential change in policy in terms of, in relation from a tactical switch as well from Liverpool? Obviously, the ball retention midfielders are extremely rare. Well, not rare, but the wanted, especially in the modern game of football as well. Especially when we all used to, well, certainly my age group, watching that great Barcelona side with the likes of Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets as well. They've done that so well. And even Manchester City in the last 5-6 years under Pep Guardiola, it's that ability to just control games of football. If you control games of football in terms of your possession and everything, you make it a lot much very easy to start winning games of football. But at this moment in time, especially over the last 12 months, that's been one of Liverpool's biggest issues in terms of when you get that next jump, that next elevation to your side's game, is just controlling the game. And hopefully with the likes of Ryan Gravenberch coming in, Dominic Szoboszlai as well, and McAllister, they're certainly players that have got very good attributes that would very much warrant that control, that tempo, and that game-winning mentality as well. But big up there, Yufraj. As Yufraj is saying, what a signing as well. If Klopp wanted Gravenberch as his main target, then he has got it as well. Yeah, 40 million euro plus 5 million in add-ons. What's that accumulate to the, well, you never know with the euro and pound. It's very similar anyway. So probably looking at about 40 million pounds, which is, for a player of that ability, and what you are buying is potential as well, given what he's already won, Ryan Gravenberch, in such a young, such a short space in time as well as a professional footballer. He's played a lot of minutes, and I'll tell you that now. Big up there, Panov. A massive thank you for becoming a member on the last stream as well, Reds. If you missed my episode that I done with Aaron just before this evening, I'm pretty sure YouTube with the notifications. Go and check it out. Let us know your thoughts. If there's any Aston Villa fans as well, Aaron, give us the lowdown for the big game at the weekend against Aston Villa. It's going to be an extremely difficult game, but one that we're all hoping Liverpool can very much come off the back with all 3 points. Certainly will present Liverpool with our biggest test this season. I know we played Chelsea and all that, but I think Villa, as we've seen since Unai Emery's come, back to England, certainly they're going to do extremely well this season in the Premier League. Big up there. Edwards wanted him too, so might be good as well. Lavagna, he's certainly one of those type of players, Ryan Gravenberch, that would tick a lot of the boxes in terms of what you want as from a central midfielder. Anyway, for anyone that's not seen him, he's a big physical presence, 6'3" anyway, 6'4". Got vast, as I said, serial winner in the Eredivisie. I think he's won the Dutch title 3 times, and obviously with the added European pedigree as well, coming up to Anfield at the age of 18 years old a couple of years ago. So he's played against Liverpool, and it's certainly, as you said there, Lavagna, a name that has certainly been on Liverpool's radar. Obviously, I remember doing the videos a couple of years ago when we tried our best to get Ryan Gravenberch into the football club, but he chose Bayern Munich, and everyone going, "Oh, you're getting a player that turned you down." No, it's Ryan Gravenberch at that time probably analysed Liverpool's midfield and looked at it going, "Not getting ahead of Henderson, not getting ahead of Fabinho, not getting ahead of Gini Wijnaldum as well," and at that time, as we know, over the last 3-4 year period, when Liverpool's midfield was playing so well, they were playing extremely well, and they were the heartbeat of this Liverpool team. And hopefully now with the addition of Ryan, with Dom as well, and Macker as well coming into the team, hopefully that is now the new phase of Liverpool's potential extremely young midfield as well, chat. Let's not forget this profile of midfielder, the age profile, is drastically being reduced. I know it's easy when you lose a player of James Milner's age. How old was Millie? 70 or something like so. It's easier. Some people say the price tag. Yeah, Lavagna definitely, mates. Especially when it comes down to Darwin Núñez, people were saying, "Oh, he's worth 100 million," but no, it's saying euros, or especially if you want to say dollars as well. Christ, you're paying double the price in terms of, well, used to be double the price, 2 for the $1 and the dollar and the pound. Anyway, his flight was cancelled, but due to take off at 6:30 in the morning. Big up there, Dean. I tell you what, are you the pilot, Dean? As I say, keep us updated, lad. Expect a couple of selfies as well if you're flying that. Has the flight got cancelled? Oh, certainly Everton fans in the air traffic control probably cancelling the flight. But I've just come back from holiday, and I tell you that now, chat, it's very rare that a flight goes out on time. And especially if you missed it in the news this week, I think anyone over the age of 60 was stranded in Europe. So hopefully that is resolved. Luckily enough for Liverpool, Ryan Gravenberch is only 21. I'm excited, but he needs to lose. Dreadful ghosty. I'm not speaking, Nigel. I can't grow a beard to save my life anyway. I can do a ginger affagosi, but bit rubbish. Ryan Gravenberch's flight to Liverpool this evening has been cancelled. Gravenberch will fly to Liverpool tomorrow morning. The deal is not in danger of collapsing as well. Certainly wouldn't be your frage in terms of a flight, and especially with the medical facilities that we've got in modern day life in general. But certainly the medicals can probably get done over there in Germany anyway, so nothing too major. The facilities, it's not like when you sign the play in the 70s and the medicals in the 70s were like, how many pints could you get down here anyway? And then just getting you signed on the dotted line anyway. But nice one there for your Fridge. Big up there, chat, as well. All right, lad, buzzing. So Andrew, signing, always liked him at Ajax, obviously controlled the midfield at the age of 18 in the pandemic UEFA Champions League. He has spirit, aggression, and the mentality and the strength to very much succeed. Certainly, Andrew, they're big qualities, especially when you come into a club like Liverpool. Obviously, he has been at Bayern Munich, one of the biggest institutions in European football, but certainly will be coming with a lot of experience already at the age of 21. But if you're him, you're looking like you've got yet again another big opportunity to a big football club. I tell you what, there's not many players that have played for Bayern Munich, played for Ajax, and played for Liverpool as well. 3 of the biggest European clubs in football and history anyway. So you want shout out to his agent. Tell you that now. We know we'll be getting a pay rise. I'm happy we've got another player in. Sure, Ryan will fit in well. Hopefully we can get a surprise centre back tomorrow morning as well. Panov, obviously we'll speak about Nat Phillips. Obviously did get announced today that he's gone to Celtic. So all the best to Big Nat anyway. He'll do tremendous over there. Fluminense play the Libertadores tomorrow morning. If they lose, Andre may come as well. Yeah, Lavanya, it's an interesting one that Andre, as I said, not a massive avid watcher of Brazilian football. I know a lot of people that do tune into the show do watch a lot of South American football, so keep us updated on that. Jürgen, please try. Nigel, he's played him in the six, mate. He's playing that inverted role, and obviously the change of system. Nigel, it's going to take a fair bit of time. I know we've been, the back end of last season, we were unbeaten. Was it for like 11, 14 games anyway? So it's working. Of course, with any tactical switch, it's going to take a bit of time and a bit of adjusting, and certainly a lot more time when you are bringing in new players into that given system. So, yeah, I've got all confidence with the Liverpool not the medical staff, Christ, we haven't even got a medical team, but with what we're trying to do in the next couple of weeks. Absolutely buzzing if we sign Gravenberch, top player. great name for Happy Days. Big up there, Mark. How are we, matey? Hope you're all well, chat. If you are new around here, smash that subscribe button down below. Put your bell notification, especially Liverpool are going to be venturing again into the transfer window. You never know. We might be surprised as well, chat. As I said, I've told you, we all sensed the frustration over the last couple of weeks because before this news come out over the last 48 hours about Ryan Gravenberch coming to Liverpool, it was almost a case in point of all of us looking at each other going, Liverpool, what are you doing? Do something. Because it was certainly getting increasingly closer to the transfer window shutting, and we know there's still quite a fair bit of work to do, but let's not take that away from a player that we're bringing in, play with bags of ability, bags of potential as well. And probably in about 5-10 years' time, you'll probably be looking at it, hopefully, we we did with Virgil van Dijk. Everyone at that time was going, you bought Virgil van Dijk for far too much. And 2 years down the line, Virgil turned into probably at his peak, 150, 120 million pound centre half as well. So, yeah, I think we've got an absolute bargain if Ryan Gravenberch can stay fit. We need a centre-back tomorrow as well. It can prove problems as well. Big up there, Zane. Fully agree, mate. I know chat will as well. Liverpool always has the prizes. That's why we love you as well. Big up there, Nigel. Just believe, chat. I know in recent windows we've all become a bit disenfranchised with the people running the transfers in recent seasons, apart from Michael Edwards and Julian Ward, who have done an absolute stellar job in terms of bringing in the right players. But I know I'm certainly doing a live stream tomorrow. Hopefully you do tune in for that chat. It'll be for a couple of hours anyway. And if we don't, then we'll analyse it when the window does shut at midnight. But fingers crossed, chat. Hopefully Liverpool can surprise us with one extra player coming in for the football club. He was rated as one of the top 3 up-and-coming midfielders, the other 2 being Jude Bellingham and Tchouaméni. Big up there, Paul. Yeah, certainly very highly regarded in European football, certainly his time at Ajax. I think if he continued his development, I think that price tag at buying would have certainly been in the region of in the echelons of really 60 to 100 million pounds in terms of the price tag, but certainly a 40 million fee for coming to Liverpool is certainly quite cheap in the modern market as well. We need a centre-back, yes. Big up there, Mike. Big up, matey. Not too sure who Aaron Kent. I think you might be tagging your mate on Facebook. But big up there, Mike. Hope you're well, mate. Puts us in the top 4 easily, this kid, and even say title challenges possibly as well. Big up there, Paul. I love the optimism, and that's what we've got to be, chat, as well. We know we struggle, especially over the last 12 months from a defensive point of view, but as I said at the top of the show, if Liverpool can become a much more ball retention team where we absolutely kill teams, do what City do really, where you've got a team where City have 80-90% of the possession, and when you're playing when we've all seen them as a neutral watching City, everyone goes to boring to watch, but at the end of the day, it's an effective way of playing football. You bore the opposition, you tire them out first and foremost, and hopefully that's what Liverpool do when in terms of just controlling and dictating the tempo of the game, and then that alleviates massive defensive lapses in concentration as well. Obviously, even when we've been managed by Jurgen Klopp and every top side, even look at that great Barca side, even City, every elite side in European football over the history of football, it's extremely rare. Every top team concedes chances. Of course, in recent weeks, Liverpool seems like every attack down our right-hand side and certain transitions, but that's part and parcel of the high-risk football that Liverpool have always played, even in the 70s and 80s as well, playing from the back, picking the ball up as well, even with the pass-back rule. Very renowned, even Ajax learning from it as well. So the Johan Cruyff Academy. So it's all about what Liverpool can do when we're on the ball, certainly, and then you can just control it. So if Liverpool, hopefully in the next couple of weeks and months, and then we get to January where if there is a player that becomes available and we go out and get him, then sounds even better, especially if we can strengthen, especially if we're in contention and we're in the top 400 or even better in terms of title competing as well. That's what we're wanting as well. So exciting, Paul. I love your optimism, mate. That's how it should be. We get behind these lads no matter what anyway. I know we can critique them and be disappointed, but this is all our football club. This is Liverpool Football Club. Sometimes we don't do things the easy way, but football's sometimes not that easy, as we know. McAllister, Endo, Sabos, Gravenberch for 150 million, 115 million for Saicedo as well. Brian, that puts it all in together really, and concludes it really, mate, into perspective. That was the word I was trying to look for. Perspective, mate. The first part of your message, mate. I know everyone will go Endo, but we know we needed a utility man. We needed a utility man, someone that can play centre half, DM, other areas of the pitch, and certainly getting that. But in terms of McAllister, World Cup winner, extremely talented midfield, as we've seen with Brighton. Szoboszlai, probably one that come out of absolutely bloody nowhere. Don't think, well, there was rumours months and months ago, but nothing really concrete. When that news come out, we're like, bloody hell. And even the speed in which Szoboszlai settled into Liverpool chat, it's absolutely phenomenal work from Liverpool's coaching, the recruitments anyway, and Ryan Gravenberch. But that's sensible, Bri. It would have been tremendous if we got Saicedo, but we all knew we wanted, and given the interviews he's given recent weeks, he was never going to join Liverpool. Fair enough that Liverpool were at the table. We were willing to put a bid. Well, we put the bid in. It was just a case in point of if Liverpool would have went in for Saicedo, 12 months ago, then potentially might have chosen Liverpool but it wasn't to be, and it's all right, chat. He'll be twerking for Real Madrid, and if he has another good 6 months at Chelsea, just go back and look at the comments Saicedo's made in recent months. He's twerked for Arsenal, he's twerked for Chelsea, and he probably will twerk for a Barcelona, Real Madrid in a couple of months' time anyway, when he's had a good run of form, and he's probably one of those players that lacks loyalty in the modern game, and we know certainly there's a lot of them at the current moment in time in European football. 105 million for Rice. Quite expensive Rice, that, mate. Where'd you shop, Aldi? Aldi's good. I'd say Marks and Spencer's. Pretty posh. Big up, Jack. How are we, lad? Thanks for hopping on. No worries, Luke. Thinking of you, mate, as well. Look after yourself, lad. Thoughts go to you and the family at the minute, mate. But chat, just put some hearts to obviously the 1892 Reds, obviously Luke. Obviously thinking of you, mate. Not gonna say it on the stream, it's not my place too, but looking after your brother anyway. Keep safe and thinking of yous. Fantastic news. Can't wait to welcome him to Liverpool. Big up their science. For being 6'2" in feet, is very quick. Yeah, he's a very tall fella, to say the least anyway. But when you look at and analyse Szoboszlai chat as well, it's the best player for me when I was a kid growing up. Yeah, and especially Peter Crouch. He was extremely good for someone that was 6'7" with the ball at his feet. But in terms of when I always go back to is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's so good technically for a big lad. Ridiculous. Ryan Gravenberch at the height of 6'2", 6'3". He's very adept on both feet as well. He's a ball carrier, likes to progress to midfield, get into behind back lines as well. He's a penetrating midfielder. That's certainly Liverpool, apart from Szoboszlai, haven't got. I know McAllister does like to burst in, but I think Szoboszlai and Ryan Gravenberch are going to be those two players that can very much get into that box, break the line, and hopefully chip in with a couple of goals as well. But Gravenberch is an athlete as well. He's not just good at going forward. He's certainly got an engine on him as well. So given the high frame, his big frame, he's got that ability to track back with those long legs. So certainly a player that should, if you've not seen a lot of him, chat, be very excited to see this see the young lad in a Liverpool shirt anyway. Great signing, big up there, Con. Hope you're well, mates. Looks a decent player. Working with Klopp will push him to much greater heights as well. Big up there, Nigel. I get you and the lads on very soon. Obviously, we'll do a post-match reaction show, everyone, and everyone's welcome to call in on that one as well. You know what? I'll drop the link in a little second. Let's get through all these comments as well. Make sure I haven't missed anyone's. I reckon we get a surprise centre-back. Medina as well. Obviously, Medina, the Lens. Argentinian centre-back as well. Apologies there, Chas. As like a lot of us have Fabrizio Romano's tweets on notifications. Chelsea rejected an approach from Bayern for Chalobah. Trevor Chalobah. Interesting. That's what Chelsea are doing quite well, selling players. Says a lot about that he didn't go to Manchester United, his old manager. Certainly, mate. Big up there, Alistair. You never walk alone from Cape Town, South Africa as well. Alistair, big up, mate. Hope you're having a fantastic day or morning. I know the beauty of social media. But Alistair, I hope you're excited about this lad, mate. I certainly am. I am absolutely chuffed to bits. Big up there, chat. Big up, Wigs. How are we, mate? Need a few more players to stand a chance with the league and the Europa League. Certainly there, Tom. But I think a lot of it does come down to rhythm, momentum. We know, and we've seen in the past with Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp, when Liverpool get a good run of form, it's no one comes. The only two teams in this league that can go on runs is obviously Liverpool and of course Manchester City. I know everyone goes on. Sorry for any of the Arsenal viewers or mates going, "Oh, we'll be there next year." No, in terms of the levels in which City and Liverpool have pushed each other, even to greater heights as well. I think the big thing for City this year is if they can get a player in to replace, not to replace, but in terms of add quality to the team. Because obviously Kevin De Bruyne, if he continues to persist with injuries this season, I think that could be a big disappointing factor. But we know the quality. They're selling Cole Palmer, aren't they, to Chelsea? But I'm pretty sure they'll reinvest that 40-50 million pound back into another player. Obviously, Paqueta of West Ham was linked. He was very close to joining them last couple of weeks ago, wasn't he? Obviously, with that betting allegations up, the betting has very much put a damper on those rumours anyway. Let's get the centre back in the window before it shuts. 100% there, Wigs. Big up there as well. Apparently, Gravenberch, yeah, it is cancelled, Wigs. But as we said, as Chat already alluded to, by the way, congratulations on getting Gravenberch. Big up there, Geordie. I know you'll be absolutely well. Geordie, let me know your thoughts. Are you excited? If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be made up. I know it was the group of death. We'll speak about the Champions League draws a bit later in the second chat anyway, because obviously we'll quickly go into this little story as well. Well, not story, just confirmation that we had this evening. In terms of Paul Joyce, but George, let me know your thoughts on the group stage draw. But obviously, Paul Joyce tweeted this evening at 7 o'clock. Liverpool have agreed a 40 million fee with Bayern Munich for Ryan Gravenberch. The player is flying to Merseyside for the medical. But if you're just tuning in now, his flight has been cancelled. Nothing is going to change the fact of that. It's just the airspace is currently in and around Europe are absolutely chocker. In all honesty, traffic control have been an absolute disgrace in the last couple of weeks anyway. Liverpool's the best club in the world. Big up there, Alistair. We sure are, mate. We sure are. Big up there, Jay. How are we, mate? Hope you're well. Good to see you in the comments, mate, as always. Jack keeps check Plattenberg's tweet. I will do in a second, mate. Big up there. Hey, Jack. Good to see you, lad. Big up there, Dynamite. Is that the Dynamite that we all know? Big up there, mate. If it is, mate, if it's the same fella, good to see you in the comments, mate. Hope you are well as well, most importantly. Yes, Sabuzlai is 6'2", so we're starting to get a land of giants. Well, 6'2's average height for normal people. But yeah, land of giants, really. It's good, especially when you look at the Premier League. It's so physically demanding as well. 45 million with Palmer. He's barely kicked the ball in the league. But from their perspective, it's extremely good business, isn't it? Thoughts on and prayers go to the friends and families of obviously the South Africa fired as well. Spot on there, Nigel. Thoughts go to obviously all the families affected. So everyone out there, look after yourselves, and hopefully everyone comes home safe as well. Good player to get. Looking forward to seeing this guy in Liverpool. Certainly, mate. Certainly. Bear with me 1 second, dear chatters. Connor. I get Florian Planberg. Yeah, Connor, if you're still tuning in, lad, drop us, send the link direct on DX. No, call it Twitter. Yeah, send it over on Twitter if you can, please, mate. It'd be much appreciated. But in terms of Ryan Gravenberch, chat, excited. I am so made up. Predominantly, he's a right-sided central midfielder. Especially at his time at Ajax, he was certainly better suited to that right-hand side of the midfield three. Obviously, you've got your six. I think at the time it was Donny van der Beek, because you had Frankie de Jong, you had Donny van der Beek, and then you had Ryan Gravenberch. So those three very much interchanged in that Ajax side a couple of years ago. I'd love Frankie de Jong, bloody hell. He's top of my priority list for a six if we could get him. He would be available because Barca are absolutely skint. Might have a little quick whip rounds before the window shuts. You never know. But Ryan Gravenberch, he's predominantly right-footed, but he's certainly a player that can go on his left anyway. But the right-hand side of that midfield three, for me, chat, let me know. A change in system, as we've seen with Liverpool in the last 12 months, and especially the back end of last season, that obviously 3-box-3 formation that has been used quite extensively in and around Europe. I think we've seen with Xavi. I think Xavi, obviously that formation's always been in football, but I think in the last couple of years, Xavi is very much pushed that to the forefront, really. And then Pep has made his slight tweaks. He's done a typical Pep. He's tweaked it ever so slightly, and it's become such a very well-used formation if you've got the right players tactically. At this moment in time, we all know Liverpool from a defensive standpoint lack that just killer, the destroyer, the number 6 in that Liverpool midfield. Obviously, Trent inverted, but chat, do you anticipate Liverpool potentially to go back to a 4-3-3? The signing of Gravenberch, I mentioned this because obviously at the time at Ajax, as I just said, played the 4-3-3 formation, did change to a 4-2-3-1 in certain elements in certain games in European, in that, especially that year when he come round, obviously at the age of 18 to Liverpool, was playing against Liverpool in Europe. So it's interesting. Liverpool, as we know, we need to have that adaptability. Adaptability in modern day football has never been as more important in modern football at this moment in time, because you need to be able to adapt, and having those players first and foremost, whether that be McAllister, whether that be Szoboszlai, Trent, Endo, Ryan Gravenberch coming in. So it's that ability to very much change on the fly and having players that are extremely comfortable as well. I was just speaking to Aaron, obviously the Villa fan, my good mate, and he spoke about Aston Villa's players under Unai Emery being extremely comfortable in certain situations in around the football pitch, and that ability to play out from the back and be under pressure and go 1v1 or 2v1 in certain elements. And that's what Ryan Gravenberch and the very technical players that Liverpool have brought in this summer is, when we're getting pressed, having midfielders that can actually dribble past 2 or 3 players. The dream was when we signed Naby Keita, he would have been that prime example. But Naby was probably too asked about getting sorted by the NHS most weekends, which was disappointing, because that in itself, the profile of Naby Keita before he come to Liverpool was exciting. Didn't work out, as we know, for all the reasons. But Ryan Gravenberch, Szoboszlai as well, McAllister. These are players that very much identify, players that are able to control the play, players that are always looking on the turn, looking to try and get that ball out to the left wing, out to the right wing, and playing that killer ball as well. And certainly from a physical point of view as well. Hopefully going into this season, Liverpool don't continue to get bullied. It's about that instant press. At Ajax, we all know historically the years of that great Ajax side, as we've seen in the centuries followed, it's all about controlling the game. But obviously off those ball transitions, it's about pressing. That's certainly a massive element to what Ajax do. And that's certainly an element that Liverpool, over the last 12 months, have massively underachieved. Because we've seen Liverpool at our peak. You've seen Hendo, Fabinho, Gini. We press like an absolute bloody machine. We were unbearable. Teams were struggling to get out of their own half and even their own box. Hopefully with the sign of Gravenberch and potentially maybe one more, it will be fantastic at Liverpool. I'll tell you what, if Liverpool can bring in one more player on top of Gravenberch as well in the next couple of hours, next 48, 24 hours anyway, it'll be extremely beneficial for Liverpool's aspirations going into this new season. Going into the next story as well, chat, there was a lot of talk prior to the news this evening that he was potentially flying out. Well, he is flying out, Ryan Gravenberch. But Paulinho, obviously the Fulham central defensive midfielder anyway, there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of days of his potential move to Bayern Munich anyway. Obviously, he's 28 years old, Paulinho, extremely talented central defensive midfielder, a name that has not 100% been linked with Liverpool, but certainly would have been on the list. But due to his age, I think certainly he would have come into Liverpool if he was and done a job for 1 or 2 seasons. But at the end of that, Liverpool, as we've already mentioned tonight, that age profile, Liverpool need a young squad that is being able to compete. But I think if Bayern Munich did get this lad through the door, and there was massive correlations really, because if Paulinho does go to Bayern Munich, certainly Youssouf Fofana of Monaco, that the central defensive midfielder, he was previously linked with, was it Forest? A couple of weeks ago when me and Kev done a show, there was reports from Fabrizio when David Ornstein saying that there was a potential bid in there. But I think tonight saying he's a player that is come onto Fulham's radar, certainly, especially if Fulham are wanting in excess of 70, 80 million pounds for Paulinho, then it only makes sense if Fulham did go out for a Youssouf Fofana from Monaco. I think a fee in the region of 35 to 40 million will get that deal over the line as well. So watch this space as well, chat. I think in relation to DMs as well, Sangare looks like he's, as before we come on air, looks like he might potentially be going to Forest for 35, 40 million pounds as well. I'll tell you what, if Forest brought him in, just goes to show how strong the Premier League is, chat. We speak about Liverpool as well, but extremely, extremely strong. The majority, everyone in the Premier League. Making sure I haven't missed anyone's comments as well. Just quickly going back on the comments. Realistically, we can get third spot at the end of the Champions League, but as a fan, we have to reach the second spot and qualify for the round of 16. Let's see what happens. We have to get max points at St. James's Park. 100% there, mate. But it's all about your learning curve, George. I think at our time, when we can all speak from our experience under Jurgen Klopp, mate, it didn't happen straight away. But considering it's about that first year back in fully the Champions League, it's about getting that experience as a fans, but most importantly, the players getting that experience in the Champions League, and obviously the coaching staff. You might come to realization, and even if you don't pick up many points this season, you've got there now. Now the mantra for this season, if you do get knocked out, is to go again this season. Get that hunger, get that desire as well from everyone at the football club and wanting to get back there and prove everyone wrong as well. But funny things have happened there, Geordie. You never know. It could work to your advantage, really. Teams coming, not that they don't know what to expect, because I think anyone outside the Premier League has watched Newcastle be extremely quality in terms of the Premier League. And given that great defensive record, if he can shut up shop and just play it away and play with confidence, I think he'll do well, mate. I think he will surprise quite a lot of the European teams as well. Because we got, was it, Jordy, we got branded, us Liverpool fans, was the group of death. Was it? We've had a couple of group of deaths, but in the end, it works out well. And you surprise quite a lot of people going, and everyone goes, oh. Also, the storms in Florida and the victims of the recent car crash in Ireland. Yeah, condolences to all there, Nigel, as well, mate. When is the Europa League draw? It is tomorrow. It is tomorrow, mate, at 12 in the morning. So, yeah, I will be there. Chat, if you don't get your notifications, we'll be live tomorrow for the Europa League draw. I'm not going to be one of those fans that goes, oh, I'm not going to sit there and not watch it. No, I'm going to sit there and even go to games as well this season and get behind our lads. Doesn't matter. Even if Liverpool were playing in a five-a-side tournament against Everton or Man United, we'd all get behind them as well. It's not ideal, especially the circumstances that led to last season. But at the end of the day, we get behind the lads, whatever competition, and we hope that our team does win the competition. Because I tell you what, the added incentive, especially for the Irish contingent around the world, for the Reds, for our side as well, that will be one hell of a party. But we need to get there first. We need to get past the group stages and everything. But it certainly would be a treat, especially Liverpool are competing top of the league as well. But it could be Liverpool's last opportunity. That's when you know you've had a bad season. But if it comes down to it and Liverpool, a 6th, 7th, it's certainly one opportunity that does present itself to really get back into the Champions League football as well. So certainly not ideal, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we're not just relying on that and we're competing with City. But we'll find out in a couple of weeks' time. We need to shake things up, start trending in central midfield and rebuild around them as well. Nigel, we've certainly got lots of talented midfielders, as we've already spoke about tonight, mate. Do you think this will be the last sign for us, Jack? Dynamite? I don't think so, mate. And we'll speak about, obviously, Nat Phillips in a little second, but it very much ties into what we're thinking around that, really, mate. But Plattenberg last tweet is just saying the flight cancelled, but no issue. Deal is done. Then another tweet about Bayern and Paulinia as well. Big up there, Brian. Obviously, just mentioning what we did say before in relation to, as we know in modern day football, certain transfers have such a domino effect and really bounce from tier to tier, really. So interesting times. Midfield rebuild happening in a month. Unbelievable in a great way. I mean, we need a midfield rebuild. A couple of transfers seasons ago, and it happened. Now it is great from Klopp as well. We all said we wanted 4 mids, 3 minimum. We've got them 100% there, but I not seen much of Ryan. Hope he plugs the holes even a bit. Park played as well. Steve, as I said, mate, he's going to be sound. If he can stay fit, he's an absolute monster on a football pitch. He's a player that loves the ball at his feet, someone that will drive, and he's got confidence. And certainly playing alongside the likes of Trent, obviously McAllister as well. I think we all anticipate, chat. Obviously, it's not ideal, but a player like Ryan Gravenberch coming in possibly could allow McAllister to play a bit more deeper in that 6 role. Obviously, McAllister's best position is probably a bit more advanced 8, but he certainly can play that role anyway. But interesting times ahead, Steve. Definitely be excited about this signing, mate. A centre-half, I hope, next as well. Forest trying to match Chelsea with the most squad players, literally have like 3 teams as well. Yeah, bring back. Oh, bloody hell, Paul. No. But we'll quickly move on to the next part of the show as well, chat. And that obviously did come in the form of the official announcement, as we spoke about last night, the anticipated move of Nat Phillips joining Celtic. But we got official confirmation today on loan until January 2024, subject to international clearance. Welcome to Celtic, Nat. And yeah, I think all of us wish Nat Phillips all the best. He's not a player, as we spoke about last night, he's not a player that's going to throw his toys out of the pram. He's certainly going to go to Celtic. And certainly, I think obviously, Celtic are used to winning trophies, but I think he'll certainly, that league, is probably too good for him. I no disrespect to the Scottish League, really, but he's going to go to that league and not really be phased at all. Nat Phillips is going to go to that league and they'll make him look like Nat Maldini, quite literally. He's going to be phenomenal for Celtic, and especially in European football terms as well. Chat, are Celtic in the Champions League? Chat. Well, we'll have a quick look. I'm going to quick jump ahead. Celtic in the Champions League. Celtic on the Champions League this season. Bloody hell. Yeah, they're finished. But yeah, they'll do well, even if they have got European football or whatnot. But I think Brendan Rodgers bringing him in, the experience he'd offer and the quality as well, chat. Interesting enough, I was speaking to Luke and the lads before we come on air tonight on his show, and you were like, it ends at January. But I think that's sensible by Liverpool, because what Liverpool didn't want to be put in a position, say, what is it, we get to January and Liverpool have literally got no centre-halves. If worst case scenario did arise that Liverpool did need to bring Nat Phillips back in January, it's extremely clever by the football club to just allow that bit more wiggle room, really. If he wants to go back on loan and Liverpool do bring in that centre half that we're all craving for, Liverpool need to wait, 6 months down the line and a big player becomes available and we bring him in and then we sell Nat Phillips on a full transfer to Celtic or another loan with an obligation to buy at the end of that loan at the end of May. Then fingers crossed, but all the best to Nat Phillips as well. And chat, we'll get straight into obviously the Champions League announcements in terms of the draw. A couple of tasty ties, chat. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. We'll start with Group A. You've got Bayern, Man United, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. I tell you what, Copenhagen are about to get absolutely cooked in that group, aren't they? Bayern, Man United probably will be battling for the first two spots in that group, but don't write off Galatasaray as well, though, Chas. I know the quality in Turkish football, we haven't been keeping up to date. You've certainly got a lot of talented players coming into that league. I think it's Cardi leads the line for Galatasaray now. There's certainly been a couple of other players that have moved to Gala in recent weeks in terms of transfer windows. One to keep an eye on. I wouldn't write off Galatasaray straight away. It's always a difficult tide going to Galatasaray away, especially in European football. Any Turkish side anyway. The atmosphere is absolutely tremendous. It's a cauldron of atmosphere, really. So one to keep an eye on there, chat. But yeah, Nat Phillips will be remembered for being an absolute warrior when him and Williams helped us for top 4, 100% there, mate. Yeah, they're in the UEFA Champions League. Oh, yes, sorry there, chat. I've even got my glasses on there, chat, but the Celtic badge was kind of camouflaged there. Tell you what, Celtic are going to get cooked as well. They've got Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, and Lazio. Oh, my. That's a tricky group in itself. Anyway, nice one there, Wiggs. Big up there, Gerson. Good evening, Jack. Possibility of signing a centre-back on deadline day. Gerson, I'd say fingers crossed, mate, and chat. Hold on there. We'll be doing a live stream. Well, we're doing a very long live stream tomorrow. So if anyone wants to pop in, you're very welcome. I will drop the link in tomorrow. But I'd say, Gerson, a lot can change in the last 24 hours of a transfer window, especially with the domino effects as well. We're seeing with potentially Paulinho going to Bayern Munich or other players coming into Bayern or swapping and changing. A lot of opportunities will present themselves. Probably not the most ideal situations or transfers that you would anticipate, Gerson, but keep an eye out. Yeah, I've got good feelings, mate, as well. I'm hoping, we're all hoping that Liverpool can get that extra one or two players in on top of Gravenberch, because that would certainly put Liverpool in such a good position. And I think that the fact that Liverpool have allowed, you've moved on Nat Phillips for 6 months, potentially could be bringing in another centre half. Watch this space. We bring him back when we lose 3 defenders due to injury. Yeah, spot on there, Luke. I think we're good, and he has a decent half season at Celtic to sell him in January as well. Can't believe the lack of interest in that state. It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it, mate? And chat. I know when we all sit back and really analyse Nat Phillips' game, if Nat Phillips had pace in abundance, as a characteristic. If he had that in his game, I'd say he'd certainly be a 30, 40, 50 million pound centre half. But I think given the modern game now, it's in terms of the high line being very prevalent now in terms of most teams. Yeah, he suits a low block, or he suits a team that will dominate possession and really not be as exploited on the counter attacks as well. So Steve, I think he'll do extremely well. But yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, mate. But at the end of the day, I think when we all think about it, he's a good centre half. He's a good centre half, but I think for a top elite side like Liverpool and for like Cities and all that, and the Barças and Real Madrids, he's just not got the attributes really to drive himself on or to drive a club on. But he'll do a tremendous job at the right club as well. Hit the likes, peeps. You know what, it makes sense. Big up there, Redbeard. Massive thank you, mate, for tuning in. Hope you've had a good day, mate. Chat, let us know your thoughts on this. Obviously, the group, Man City's draw in full, Port Vale under 23, St Johnstone and under 9s, and Everton Football Club. Yeah, it's ridiculous, their draw, isn't it? It's great. What a couple of envelopes with a lot of money in do. Let's hope for the Geordies as well. Yeah, so we'll have a look at Group B as well. Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, Lens. Obviously, Lens did finish runners-up to Paris Saint-Germain last season. Absolutely fuming last year. Like the league title for Lens was there, but shocking performances at the back end of the campaign for the French side. Anyway, really put. I think you've just lost Fofana as well to one of the Saudi clubs, obviously the Ivory Coast central midfielder. That was very good for them. And you've got a couple of talented players, chat. So keep an eye on Lens. I think you might surprise a couple of teams, but that is certainly obviously Europa League winners in Sevilla last season. Certainly going to not be as easy for Arsenal. I think you would have, if you asked any Arsenal fan, or if there's any Arsenal fans in there, yeah, I think that's going to be an extremely difficult group to get out of for Arsenal. You'd anticipate them to come top of that group, but if a couple of results go in the way of Sevilla, especially at home, really good, PSV and Lens. I think Lens at home, chat. If you've not seen a lot of Lens in the French league, I know we all bash the French league going, Farmers League, but I think you will surprise a couple of teams. So there will be quite a lot of draws. So it's not going to be all plain sailing for Arsenal, chat. What we're saying on that group, Sevilla, PSV to qualify. Big up there, Geordie. Pace is the difference for some players. 100% there, Bry. 100%, mates. Yeah, Nigel. Apologies, chat. Yeah, I did have my tooth taken out yesterday, and it was one of my big ones at the back, but much better. Touch wood, thankfully. But we'll move on to Group C. Interesting one, to say the least. Napoli absolutely slapped our backside last year, didn't they? Real Madrid, prefer not to speak. Braga and Union Berlin as well. Obviously, Union Berlin just about scraping top 4 at the last game of the season. Obviously, you got that very pacey striker, haven't they? What's his name? Oh, his name's gone out my head, but he's extremely pacey. Union Berlin striker. What's his name? Chat, you'll let me know. But yeah, he's very good in terms of getting him behind. Braga, weird team, very weird team. They're good in there, a good bog standard Portuguese team, but certainly is it the Draga or the Dragao? Their home stadium, probably one of the best. If you're wondering and you're wanting to go on holiday and watch a team, just go to Braga's stadium, the Dragao. I think it's the Dragao, or am I thinking of Porto Stadium? But Braga Stadium is beautiful. One of the most great stadiums in the whole of Europe. If you go on holiday, like their scenery in and around the ground, you've literally got mountains and everything around their stadium. So, but yeah, Real, I think their developments on there. So you anticipate Napoli and Real Madrid certainly to go through on that as well. Group D, Benfica, Inter, Salzburg and Sociedad. What were we saying on Group D, chat? For me, when I look at that, that is that's probably the most balanced group out of all of these groups when I look at the other teams. Yeah. For me, if you're a Benfica, Inter, a Salzburg fan or a Sociedad fan, you're looking at that going, be happy with that. Obviously, Inter Milan, finalists in the Champions League last season. Inter were playing with 10 men, especially with Lukaku up front. Man of the match for City last year in the Champions League final, sadly. But chat, let us know your thoughts on that in that group. I'd say, you'd anticipate Benfica and Inter to go through on that, but don't be surprised by Salzburg, who have sold probably a couple of their top players in this window just gone. In my opinion, it's straightforward. Napoli and Madrid, 100% agree there. Geordie, tough group for Newcastle and United. Can be awkward for them, certainly. Philip, big up there, matey. Good to see you in the comments. Yeah, as Steve said, Group T, tight into the Benfica. So we're anticipating them all to go through, chat, aren't we? So Group E. Yeah. Lazio are a weird team, chat. And apologies last season that I made us watch a Lazio watch-along. I was kicking myself at the end of it because wish we could get those 90 minutes. So no, it was a Lazio game last season that we watched, all of us. And there was a Napoli game. I thought, we watched Napoli, and it was a shocking 0-0 draw. I was like, oh. But you'd anticipate in terms of that group, Celtic at Celtic Park be bouncing, but yet again, they've got a couple of more than a couple, great, talented, young Japanese players, Celtic. That's something that they've done extremely well in terms of the J League, bringing those exports over. But Feyenoord, hit and miss, really. Very good side. I think did he win the Eredivisie last season? Yeah, because Ajax done absolutely shocking. I think it was Feyenoord that won the league title last year. Apologies, I'm wrong there, chap. But Atletico, you'd anticipate Atletico to be too strong for the other teams in that competition. And I think it will be a shootout between Lazio and Feyenoord. And then we go to Group F, the group of death that everyone's calling it. Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, obviously semi-finalist as well in the competition last year. And, of course, the Geordie boys. Hello, Geordies in the comments there. I reckon I might go for it. I reckon certainly with the quality of Newcastle, they could get out of it. Obviously, the new lad, Tonali, going back to AC Milan as well. You get a rapturous reception from the Milan faithful. I know we will. Paris Saint-Germain, we know Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe up against Dan Burn, Geordie. Are you looking for... could be some issues there, lad. That is going to be... It's going to be basically watching Trent versus Vinny Jr. half of the time. That could be tricky. Miggy Almiron going against Hakimi. But yeah, interesting group, that, chat. We'd all say probably anticipate Paris Saint-Germain to come top, but as we've seen with Paris in previous campaigns in the Champions League, it's not as always as forward-thinking anyway. It's Luis Enrique's their manager anyway now, I think it is. Obviously, hugely talented manager. Can he finally break the curse at Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League? Obviously, Bayern Munich beating Paris a couple of years ago in the final. Kingsley Coman getting the winner. So, can this year be Paris Saint-Germain's year to win the competition? Obviously, you look at that, you'd probably anticipate one or two big teams to go out at the early stage, at the group stages. But chat, what we're saying, I'm anticipating Paris to go through. No, I know I just mentioned Newcastle, but you anticipate Paris and Dortmund to go through out that group anyway. Group G, as chat already alluded to there. Group D, tighter, Inter and Benfica as well. Geordie, Atletico and Feyenoord as well for you, mates. Yeah, Feyenoord are champions. Thought they were, mate. Yeah, PSG and Newcastle to scrape through, but it's a tough one, Steve. So you're going with Newcastle? I'd like to go with Newcastle, mate, and it wouldn't surprise me if Newcastle go through in that group because we know what Paris Saint-Germain are like, know what AC Milan are like as well, especially considering when we've played them in European competition. I know everyone bangs on about Italian football last year going, they did do well. They did. Napoli slapped our backside, but that's Napoli. But I was very surprised. I think if AC and Inter actually come up against a bigger team that side of the draw, I know was it AC or Inter beat Napoli in one of the games as well. But when you think about it, Liverpool battered Inter and AC Milan in previous seasons. And given the quality that Newcastle do possess, if they play for their best full capacity, I think Newcastle can certainly do a couple of jobs against the likes of Milan and Borussia Dortmund as well. Just especially if you can get at least a point out of Paris Saint-Germain over the 2 games, that certainly would be a big point. But yeah, City pointless. Couple of envelopes were given. Leipzig, Red Star Belgrade, and Young Boys. Yeah, City. Well, they've won the competition last year, as we know, and I fully anticipate Manchester City to win the competition next year because they know how to beat Real Madrid now. But the only thing that stops City most years in the Champions League is Pep Guardiola's willingness to sub off the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. Was it 2 years ago when you were literally cruising the game, sub him off, Kevin De Bruyne, and then obviously Real Madrid come back with 2 Rodrigo goals at the death. But winning the competition will give them a lot of confidence, City, and I fully anticipate City to go all the way to the final, if not win it. They should really win the competition, given the no respect to the other teams, but the lack of quality, really. I think there's certainly a couple of teams missing out of this year's Champions League that would have given them a good test anyway. But Group H, the final one, chat, Barcelona, Porto, and Shakhtar, and Antwerp, obviously the Belgium side anyway, just going through last night. I think it was 2-1 on aggregate, really. But certainly one to keep an eye on, really, chat. But Shakhtar, not going to be easy. It's always difficult going all that way to Ukraine anyway. It's travelling. What you want as well, Geordie. And I think let's have a little look. What Newcastle, which would be extremely beneficial for Newcastle, is you're not playing a Shakhtar, you're not playing the side. That is the other side of the world. With Newcastle, they're only going to Milan. What's that? A 2-3 hour flight. Germany, an hour and a half flight, and Paris, an hour's flight anyway. Even if you get the cheap, the quick express train to Le Paris. So yeah, Barca should coast through that. Porto did surprise quite a couple of teams last year. Certainly surprised me. They did improve, but usually they are the whipping boys for the likes of Liverpool, the likes of other top sides in European competition. But you anticipate Barca and Porto. But don't be surprised if Shakhtar pull a couple of bit of surprises as well on that. But chat, yeah, straightforward for Barca and Porto. I'd love Newcastle to get through to their group into the knockout stages, but I think it'll be Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund to finish in the top 2, though. Big up there, Philip. Yeah, City and Leipzig there. 100% there, chat. I think Liverpool should buy Land Southwest. Yeah, not too bad, Nigel. Would be nice, that, mate. But chat, to conclude, really, that was just obviously a little summary. Thought we'd speak about it. I know we're not in the competition, but from a Liverpool perspective as well, chat, this is added fuel going into this season. Those players would have been absolutely fuming. We all were that we're not in this competition. Thing is, when we're in this competition, usually we win it. We're not just in the Champions League just for vibes. Not like, was it 15, 20 years under Wenger in the competition? He only went to one Champions League final and got beat. And they were absolutely robbed in that final, by the way, Arsenal, in terms of Jens Lehmann. Well, it was a red card, but it's like when we played against Tottenham, when Tottenham conceded a handball and a penalty in the first opening minutes. Just really puts the team on the back foot, really. Well, for anyone tuning in tonight, obviously there was this evening, Paul Joyce and Fabrizio Romano stating Ryan Gravenberch to Liverpool. Here we go. €40 million plus €5 million in add-ons. 5-year deal will be is being agreed, and Ryan will fly to Liverpool. Not this evening, even though Fabrizio said that, but there has been a change as we've been on air. The flight has been delayed, but that is meant to not have scuppered the potential deal for the Dutch midfielder coming to Liverpool Football Club as well. But you're absolute bloody legends. There's 18 of you in here, still chat. Really do appreciate it. Absolute legends. If you haven't already done so, make sure you drop a like on the video. Massively helps out as well, Reds. Liverpool giving the other teams a chance for one season. 100% there, Wigs. But yeah, chat we'll do a couple of Champions League watch-alongs. We'll do Champions League watch-alongs on Tuesday, Wednesday nights, and of course we'll do the Liverpool European watch-alongs on the Thursday night as well. There's a lot of watch-alongs to come on the channel. I love doing my watch-alongs. But chat, what a night, what a day for Liverpool, potentially looking like all well and good. Liverpool getting in a hugely talented central midfielder in Ryan Gravenberch. But Reds, let me know your thoughts. If you're watching on the repeats, do get involved in the comment section below on all tonight's stories as well, Reds. But massive thank you to every single one of you. Have a lovely, what day are we on here? Bloody hell, I don't even know what day it is. Have a lovely rest of your Thursday night as well. We will be live tomorrow for the Europa League draw. I'm excited for that. And everyone goes, we'd like it to be in the Champions League, but we're not. We've got to sit on our hands and hopefully do well in this competition as well. But chat, keep an eye on it. If you don't get your notifications, we will be live. Make sure you put your bell on so you get notified when we're live. But Reds, look after yourself. Have a good Friday, nearly the weekend. Behave, everyone, and look forward to the weekends. I know you all will. If you haven't already done so, make sure you check out my video I done with Aaron on the channel. Obviously, we had a little look at the Aston Villa deep dive. Great insight from Aaron, as always, from an Aston Villa perspective and where Liverpool really need to keep an eye on at the weekend against Aston Villa. It's going to be our biggest test of the season so far. But big up there, Steve. Newcastle, every chance of progressing, but they need everything going for them and finishing their chances 100%. Big up there, Steve. Big up there, Panov as well. Big up to every single one of you lads and ladies as well. Look after yourself. See you tomorrow morning for the draw. And hopefully Liverpool get a nice, easy Manchester City draw as well. Be nice. Ta-ra, everyone.